What's going on YouTube, man? All right, so like literally in the military, you see a lot of things. I even seen people get away with murder. Now we all know military is all about like who you know, but honestly though, your whole life is gonna be about who you know. Like that could lead to you getting a good job, getting a promotion, or getting your foot in the door into a great, leadership opportunity or a good money-making business move. Like, who you know plays a heavy part about like who you trust and what you do. And then it could even go as far as to what you think. They say all birds of the same feather flock together. Now, so I met this guy at the store. He was looking for cigars and everything. He was going through the little cigar, and then we started talking about cigars, and then the conversation went to a whole nother direction. He just happened to be a 20-year vet of the Marine Corps, and he's a radio announcer for all the football games in my area. Now that's a pretty big deal of somebody that I just met randomly, right? And so we started talking, and then bam, he gives me a business card and say, hey, if you need anything, call me. And then if anybody know me, I'm gonna keep that information. Now, if you know anything about connections, that's how you make them. It'd be very unexpected, or if you see somebody that you need to meet, put yourself in a position to meet them. Like stay back, act like you on the phone and wait till they walk past you, like, oh, excuse me. Or hold the door. Hey, ma'am, this is what this is how I heard about you. Let me introduce myself. Always keep a pen and notepad on you too. A pen and notepad, especially when you're trying to meet people, because that way if they don't have a business card, that way you can write down their information or just pull out your phone and use notes. But always have a way to take notes when you're meeting people. Now to the murder part. Now, nobody actually died. No, he didn't really kill somebody, but he could have, but he didn't kill nobody. It was a guy that I used to work with. He got in an alcohol related incident. That's what we call it, right? He got into an ARI. So he was drinking and driving, called a DUI, driving under the influence. And then for some reason, he didn't get in as much trouble as the normal person would get in trouble. Like if the normal person got in trouble, like we're looking at some money getting taken away, maybe some rank. They definitely won't be taking the next exam. So like he didn't get in that much trouble. Like the most trouble he got was like, hey, come off the flight line for a little bit, let me talk to you. And then like a month later, he was back on the flight line. So the thing about this fellow, he wasn't very humble at the time. Like he's much better now, but he wasn't humble at the time. And so a lot of people kind of resented him for not being humble. And if you're in any situation and you got away with something and then you was just like, ha, I didn't get in trouble, and then you have to deal with it, So pretty much that's what happened. So he knew somebody, like his mentor just so happened to be a pretty high-ranking officer, which gave him some good advice. So his advice was, he didn't break any rules. Please do not believe me when I say, please believe me when I say he did not break any rules. Like, please believe me when I say that, because I don't even know the facts. Like, when he went up to captain's mast and came back down, a lot of that stuff is kept in-house. So, not everybody will know what really happened. But he got away with a DUI by still taking the exam, making first class off of that exam. And then people hated him a little bit more for that because like I said, he wasn't a very humble guy, but at the same time, getting away with a DUI and like scot-free is very unheard of. And so like the only thing I could chalk that up to is he asked the right people the right questions that gave him the right answers, so that he could get through that situation in the best scenario as possible, because every scenario goes from okay, not that bad to real bad. Like the simplest situations, you'd be like, man, oh, okay, Chief just told him to go back and change clothes. Oh, he's cussing Chief out. Oh, now he hit Chief. Yeah, now he's out the Navy. Stuff like that. But who man, I cannot stress that enough. Make sure you always meeting people. Look clean, look presentable. I was talking to a couple guys. They went to go meet some aerospace engineers, and they weren't really dressed for the occasion. So my advice to them was make sure, especially if you already know you're going to meet some engineers, make sure you dress appropriately for that occasion, because you never know what that conversation might lead to. You might meet them at a football game, but then you might go to the after party where they would be at, or you go to the dinner, or you could even just go to somebody, like go to a bar or something, a casual bar just by meeting those aerospace engineers, and they just really liked you and they just wanted to hang out with you. You want to be dressed and prepared for that situation, for any situation. That way you can have the upper hand. Happy Tuesday though, man. Hope you guys have a great one, and I'll catch you next video. Peace.